So, Marvel's Echo came out this week on Disney+, and I just spent the last few hours of my life watching all 5 episodes of it. Now you guys are probably wondering, Guac, how was this series? Did Disney finally get it right? Did we see the compelling story arcs and character arcs that captured our hearts in the first 3 phases? Did we see some stellar acting and performances from everybody who was cast in this show? Did we do this pretty obscure character some actual justice? Did we do the Kingpin some justice? Was the choreography off the charts? Did we actually focus on writing a good story instead of checking all the boxes?
No.
Deaf representation.
Hearing privilege.
Representation.
A deaf Indigenous protagonist.
Why representation matters.
Oh, who the fuck am I kidding? It's Disney in 2024. And don't get me wrong, while I'm not the most familiar with Echo's character, I was actually pretty hyped to see where they would go with this. And not even just because Daredevil was only in 1 episode, and yes, he was only in 1 episode, but we were actually seeing a more mature type of show, which I was pretty hyped for. And I was just hoping we could finally do this character justice, especially since she's not a very, very well-known character. I thought this would be Disney's chance to show that they're improving their product and they can actually do a character like this some justice. But no. But Guac, what about her story? What was the entire story of Echo? Was it her overcoming the demons of her past, overcoming the Kingpin's manipulation, and after the ending of Hawkeye where she supposedly shot him in the face, her going back to her roots, reconnecting with her estranged family, while also escaping the Kingpin's goons as he wants revenge for her, and her overcoming all of this and figuring out who she really is? Figuring out that she is more than just the Kingpin's pawn, but that she is Maya Lopez. Well, no. As a matter of fact, Maya doesn't take any accountability in this entire series. She literally goes back home to her estranged family that she kind of just, stopped talking to. At least her cousin. Her grandma really didn't want her around because her dad actually worked for the Kingpin, which caused her mom, who isn't a deadbeat in this series, to actually die. Well, he actually didn't cause it. The brake line in the truck was cut, assuming by somebody who worked for Kingpin or a rival gang or something, and she ended up dying because of it. More about the mother later, though. Maya doesn't really take any sort of accountability. She doesn't have any remorse for the crimes she committed for Kingpin. I mean, she kind of just, in her first mission, goes in and just starts killing people and whooping ass, and then Daredevil just runs away for some reason after staking out the building for hours. She then does more missions for Kingpin, kills more people for Kingpin, and then finally, once it's revealed by Hawkeye that her dad was killed because of the Kingpin, she then, shoots him in the face, and the rest is history. So then what does she go back home for? Well, apparently some of her family members, I believe it was her uncle, actually did have some sort of connections within the Kingpin's empire, and she essentially just wants to take it over. Not her uncle's job, but the Kingpin's job. Yep, that's the entire purpose of her going home. She goes home, drags her family into a bunch of shit because she wants to take over the Kingpin's empire. No accountability for her actions, no remorse at all. She's just this very stoic, unsympathetic character. And I'm pretty sure the only reason we even got this actress, if we can even call her that, considering this is the second biggest thing she's ever done. Matter of fact, this is the second thing she's done in acting in general. She hasn't even been an actress for that damn long. Her first thing was the Hawkeye series. Now, don't get me wrong, Aliqua Cox, I hope I said her name correctly, isn't the worst actor I've ever seen. She isn't putting on any William Shatner performances, but she's really not giving me a lot of emotion either. She just seems to have this same stoic face, and even when scenes that are emotional come up, she almost really shows no emotion aside from just a few tears coming down her face. But what about Vincent D'Onofrio, who's reprising his role as the Kingpin? Well, once again, like everything they've done with Kingpin in the MCU, they have absolutely fucked this guy up. We're not seeing the badass, manipulative asshole that we saw in the Daredevil series. No, we're seeing a guy who, when he has the chance to possibly kill Maya, he just puts in this contact because apparently he was too lazy to actually learn ASL, even though in the Hawkeye series he was actually using sign language to communicate with her. But apparently in this series they just couldn't be bothered. I guess they just wanted to downplay him in some way, especially when you consider ASL is actually pretty easy to learn, especially compared to the other languages this man knows. But for some reason, they just couldn't have this man be bothered to actually learn ASL. And then on top of that, he basically is at her mercy multiple times, but yet she just doesn't kill this man. And that doesn't even come close to the bullshit we see in the finale when she gets these ancestral powers handed to her. Now, Echo does actually have some superpowers in the comics. Her main ability is that she can copy anything she conceives. Now, I know some people are gonna say that they didn't do that because they probably didn't want to get it confused with Taskmaster. Well, first off, no, Taskmaster doesn't exist in the MCU. That's not fucking Taskmaster. That's a woman with her head CGI'd onto a man's body. That's not fucking Taskmaster. And second off, they actually gave a reason as to why she doesn't have these powers, because according to them, it's too lame.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
No, I'm not bullshitting you. That's literally their reasons for why they didn't give her those powers. It's too lame. Yeah, you know, copying anybody's abilities, copying anything that you see only once, yeah, that's fucking boring as shit. You know, it's not like it's useful in fighting guys like fucking Daredevil. Oh no, that's just too fucking lame. But instead, they give her these really cool ancestral powers because all throughout these 5 episodes, she has visions of her ancestors' past. As it turns out, her mom was a healer. And when in her time of need, she can, you know, use these powers to her advantage. She can gain super strength and different things like that. And that's the entire reason why she's called Echo. It's echoes of the past. And while I get what they were going for, the way she got her powers at the end just felt rushed as fuck. She literally walks into her grandma's house, who has been kidnapped by the Kingpin along with her cousin Bonnie, sees this really nice top her grandma made for her, and then has visions of her mother, who was also deaf, and then all of them saying that we're here for you when your time of need, and then she just knows how to use her powers. What happened to the days when people had to work and earn their powers and actually learn to use them? But no, she kind of just goes in, puts this top on, and all of a sudden she can hand off her powers to her cousin and her grandma, and they just whoop a bunch of armed men's asses. And then Kingpin finally decides to raise his hands at her in the stupidest way possible, and then she tries to heal his inner childhood trauma. You know, he doesn't will his way out of it like some badass, like he did with Purple Man in the comics. No, he's just sitting on a bed crying, refusing to let go of any of this stuff. And then after she releases him from it, he's like, "What did you do to me?" And then just gets in his car and leaves. This is what they're doing to Kingpin in the MCU. You know the Kingpin who I made an entire video on? A guy who's skilled enough to take on Daredevil, Spider-Man, Punisher, Captain America? The same Kingpin who can whoop Winter Soldier's ass while sleepwalking? A guy who literally beat a Doombot? You know, the same Doombots that can give Ben Grimm the Thing a challenge? And yes, that was a Doombot. The guy who had the FBI under his thumb in the Daredevil series and was running shit from prison? Yeah, that guy, once again, they make him into a bitch. Took Daredevil 3 seasons to take this guy down, but somehow it could take Kate Bishop and Echo no time at all. Yeah, I totally believe that. All because she got some ancestral powers handed to her out of fucking nowhere. The finale was kinda ass. Now look, hear me out, because Maya Lopez can't.
That's not even funny, man.
I think it was cool that they were showcasing Choctaw traditions and everything like that, and they were showing it in the show, and I actually thought it was really well done and really awesome. I also heard at the end of the series that the Choctaw tribe or reserve actually, you know, helped out with this. Even though Echo in the comics is actually from the Cheyenne tribe. But, you know, correct me if I'm wrong here, I believe that's because of the location in which they were filming, which was Oklahoma. But correct me if I'm wrong on that. Now, if I actually had to rate this series honestly, I'd probably give it a good 6, maybe 6.5 out of 10. It's not the worst thing Marvel has put out. It's definitely not as bad as She-Hulk or the Marvels, but it's not winning any awards either, and really, it's okay. It's mid at best. But this show once again proves that I don't think Marvel has learned their lesson. They focused more on the fact that she was indigenous, and don't get me wrong, I think it's cool that we had Native American actors and actresses in this show. My problem isn't that fact at all. It's the fact that you used this character simply because that was her heritage. Instead of focusing on the character of the story, once again you had to focus on this aspect of her. Now, I will give some praise to Aliqua Cox. She's not the most experienced actress. Let's be real here. They really only picked her up because she was indigenous and on top of that was actually deaf. Now, to her credit, I think most people in this position really wouldn't know what to do, and I think she did okay for the most part. To be honest, I'm not so quick to blame the actors or actresses and things, more so the writing, and we already know the writing from Marvel is just not that good. So I'm willing to spare Aliqua Cox that. But overall, this Echo series was okay. It was, like I said, mid at best, but it isn't the greatest thing Marvel has put out, and is once again another example of them focusing more on the message and agenda rather than focusing on the actual story and writing. Because overall, there really was no story here. There was no redemption arc for her. It was simply just, hey, I work for Kingpin, and now I want to be the Queenpin, and also I'm a Native American. That was pretty much it. And I understand they had to do a lot of reshoots. It was originally supposed to be 8 episodes, but at the same time, it doesn't really excuse some of the writing that they've had. It just wasn't that good. Overall, do I recommend this series? I mean, I would say you can watch it if you really want to see it and make your own judgments, but it wasn't the greatest thing, so don't expect a lot. Of course though, this is all just my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyways, that's a quick video I want to put up for you guys today. Before you go, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that notification bell, also liking this video and sharing it with your friends. And let me know, what did you think of the Echo series? You think it was good? You think it was trash? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyways, I thank y'all for watching this video today. More videos coming soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.